They're having me talk about her starting over. And that's really the only way I can describe it. They're basically having me talk about her feeling insecure because of her age and where she's at. And there's something with this, as odd as this sounds. It's not about career. It's not about career. Like, I'm not focused on career. I'm actually more focused on her, where she's at her age. Obviously, she's still young, but there's this feeling of trying to plan the future and feeling that she's behind in some way.
Liberty has just been going through a rough patch. It was weird because I don't want to, I don't want to breach her confidence. If she was here, she may want to say it or she may not. So I think as her sisters and as her family, we all try to help her move past it and become the person she's supposed to be. And
they're needing to let her know, like, no, this is good. Like, the best is yet to come. You need to be able to get all this stuff from the past out so that you can focus
I got to text her this right now.
And that it's worth the effort.
Should I call her?
Yeah.
Hello, Liberty speaking.
Hi, Lib. Hi. I'm just going to put you on the phone to Tyler. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Lib. This is Tyler.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, doing great. I'm just sitting here with your sister having a good old time. There was a message that came through for you, and I just wanted to deliver it to you firsthand because it seems like it was pretty important. Basically, with where you're at right now, it's gonna get a lot better. They've been watching over you over the past year, and they want you to know that based on where you're at, that like the best is yet to come with this, because they're having me talk about how you feel about yourself at your age and where you're at, and they just want to let you know, like, you're fine, it's gonna be good, but they're having me acknowledge cutting this cord from the past and making sure that we don't re-involve ourselves in it in any way. So it's very, very much like, good job for cutting that cord, severing those ties, but make sure we keep those cords kind of severed, is the message. And,
wow, okay.
And so basically the feeling...
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so please know in whatever way, if that does apply, that this is a message you're meant to hear and that ultimately you're on the right track, the best is yet to come, and just stick to your guns with this because you're making the right choice. With mom, with the Wait, no, this woman's coming through. Is your mom deceased?
Yes.
The way this is being communicated is Anna's coming through and referencing to this feeling of like, I'm sorry with how the circumstances went with, and then I get a reference to sister.
Oh, God.
And I think that would be referencing to your sister as far as the circumstances of the passing or this reference, but it's acknowledging your sister very distinctly and a feeling of not having a resolve that she might have needed. In reference to this passing, but there's a very distinct acknowledgement of an understanding of that relationship. And it definitely refers to both, but this is strange. When your mom comes through, it's interesting because there's a feeling of like, your mom gives me this feeling of almost like I don't have enough time to really think about what I'm about to face. And that's what makes this so hard. I want you to know that when she comes through, the connection that she has to you on the other side is so close. And no matter what time wasn't able to be spent in the physical world, she comes through so connected to you and in such a young, lively, kind of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way. And that's how she wanted to be remembered. But I want you to know that she's resolved with her passing.
Yeah, she shouldn't have died. Died too early. Infection after a procedure. We're not happy the way the procedure went. And then she had a complication. Then he eventually succumbed to an infection in the hospital after 30 days. Wasn't ready to die, 0. Didn't expect this to happen. She was afraid at the surgery. Didn't expect this. She got rolled in the operating room. It was like, oh, it'll be no big deal. She'll be fine. And a complication happened in surgery. And then they came out and said, yeah, your mom may not make it. She's bleeding a lot. She's probably gonna die. Just like that. We almost passed out right there. What? And then the next 30, 31 days was an emotional roller coaster, and she died. What still haunts us to this day, and I'm blaming myself sometimes, thinking, well, if I was there, if I would have spoke to the doctor and would have said this, would she still be living today? And then at the end, knowing that this was in the hospital and this is her blood, It's... So it's intense. You know, I miss my mom.
The woman that's coming through is coming through on her end and saying that she's with the child. She's saying, I'm with the child, I'm with the child, I'm with the child. And the message that comes through from that side is like, this child's here and I just have to bring up the child.
My grandma. I have this feeling, and I don't know if I'm making it up.
Sure.
Or if, once again, if it's wishful thinking, that my grandma, Amalia, to the point that my daughter was gonna be named Amelie in honor of Amalia.
Right.
And then we ended up calling her Sabella. And I keep saying, my grandma wants to tell me something, my grandma wants to tell me something, but I don't know if I'm making it up.
And I know you mentioned that you have a little girl. The way it comes across is like, grandma is referencing the first baby being a miracle baby.
She is a miracle baby, she was delivered through science, yeah.
What's interesting is that I'm referencing to feeling like, I feel like there's more.
I hope.
There is.
Yeah.
There really is.
Oh,
And-
good, because I'm old.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But please know, like,
So-
the acknowledgement with
I'm
this
gonna
is
start
that
crying
this
without
works
you to
out.
finish. I'm sorry.
This works out. This works out. But she's placing you with another child.
I love it.
I'm referencing to at least two.
Two, oh wow.
And that's good.
Wow, I hope, we really want it. And it's been so hard, even to conceive her.
Sure.
It was so hard, you know?
Right.
So it's a very sensitive topic for me because, you know, I think women my age, you know, that you have this incredible desire and to be able to not get what you really want when I'm healthy, I'm a good person, you know, and I
Right.
believe, it's like,
Sure.
it's devastating. So I'm relieved.
Yeah, good.
It'll be great.
Good.
I'm glad that I was able to connect with my grandma and that she confirmed that, yeah, you're gonna be a mom again. Just relax, it's gonna happen. I have that soul with me. And I hope it happens. No, not hope, it's gonna happen because he told me it's gonna happen.
So what I might do is I actually might open
Yes.
this and look at this and see if I can hold on to it and see if we get a reference. Wow.
That's the A,
Right.
a little pendant that my grandma used and my mom gave to me.
Wow. Nice.
And it says A for Amalia.
Right.
That's her name. And it's the only thing, I don't even have a picture of my grandma.
Wow.
No, I don't have one. This is the only thing that I have that is from her. And when she passed away, I was young
Sure.
and immature, you know, and I didn't have this sense of family,
Sure.
of like just loving my grandma. And I don't remember ever like hugging my grandma with love, you know?
Right.
So I want her to know that I love her so much.
Well,
I
no
love her so much.
She knows that. And I think in her coming through and referencing to the family that you've now created for yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe the new addition that's going to be coming.
I know.
I feel like in her referencing to that, she knows now, very much so, just how
I hope
family-oriented you are
Yeah.
and that you've been able to create a family of your own. And she comes through and she knows about it and she's part of it.
That's so great.
But
I'm so glad.
she comes through with nothing but love and nothing but pride.
Yeah.
I have a woman coming through, having me talk about her heart. And this is very clear in the way that this comes through. She's very insistent to acknowledge, no matter how I died, I need them to know the heart. I need them to know the heart. And there's a feeling of having a susceptibility to a heart arrhythmia and also having a susceptibility just to a heart issue. But I can distinctly tell there are other aspects to this passing. People talking about this or discussing this heart thing, but it's something else. It's like, or I die of something else, people think I die of something else. And there's just an emphasis on basically saying, like, people don't know the full picture of how, to what extent this really affected me. But it's a weird way for it to get presented from someone to just randomly pop in. Have there been recent discussions about an individual having, like, a heart thing? Have people said someone had a heart condition?
my ex-wife.
Okay, this feels heavy.
Oh boy. She used drugs, but the way she passed was not a way that I would have. I can accept that she passed.
Wow. The way this comes through, and I'm going to handle this sensitively, the feeling that comes across is that if someone may have used substances to some extent throughout their life, the feeling is that I know that when I utilize these substances, I'm not going over the amount that I would know to normally take. This doesn't feel like someone who's necessarily directly blaming drugs, even though there's obviously contributing factors, but
there's something else.
it's hard. It's hard. heart is fundamentally what she perceives as being the catalyst
to her.
to her death. Just because the amount that she would have used, she'd done before. And so the feeling
Right.
is like, it didn't kill me then, why would it kill me now? Unless there's something wrong with my ability to kind of process or metabolize this.
Okay.
She's very selective in the way she comes through. She's not giving me like a ton. She's very private. When she's connecting,
always
very,
been that.
very, very private.
When he brought up the heart situation, it made some sense. He was bringing forth my ex-wife, and I mean, I don't think he knew that it was my ex-wife that was communicating to him.
Yeah. Oh, God, okay. She's having me refer to a reference of remarriage. She's having me acknowledge a thumbs up, which references to getting married and being approving of the person we're with. And I feel like this would be her way of acknowledging this sense of happiness that you've been able to move on.
Oh, man.
That's a lot.
You're amazing.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I mean, they are connected to you by the love that you have for them and that they have for you.
Oh.
So I'm seeing a pair of glasses here, so I'm gonna hold on to those. Now I'm just gonna kind of have to navigate all of what's connecting. For sure, around you, there's a lady who acknowledges that she feels like she died kind of too soon. The thing is that she feels like she at least got to reach middle age, or at least got to kind of reach around that time frame. And she's like, I got to this point. It's not like I died in my 20s, but I didn't die in my 80s. The feeling that comes through with this, technically, it was more of a feeling of like, when it comes to getting the news of my passing, I feel like not everyone at one point was kind of around or had the opportunity to say goodbye. So when we hear, it's almost like, oh my God, this is a surprise or a shock, because it's almost like I would want to be holding hand in the moment that she passed.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
She's having me acknowledge a reference to a battle. She's having me talk about the last 6 months of her life, and then she's having me refer to spreading. She has me refer to 4 girls that I need to highlight, but
I
where
can't even breathe.
Where would the 4 girls be total?
There's 4 of them.
Awesome, great. From her perspective, the feeling is like, I think I'm ready to go. I just am not ready to leave my family. And the feeling is, from her perspective, like,
This is crazy.
when I pass, I'm not gonna be worrying about myself because I'm worried about my girls. And she goes,
Oh my gosh, you're so sad, my girl.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's saying, my girls, my girls, my girls. And then she's like,
Oh my
I'm okay when I
gosh.
transition, but I'm worried about my girls. I wanna make sure my girls are gonna be fine. And she is having me acknowledge that there's a feeling of, at the time of her passing, the reason why I wanna emphasize this feeling of kind of suddenness is because I don't feel like everybody got to actually
My
be there
sister
in that moment.
My sister didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't. And so she just never got to say goodbye. Because she was away in college.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
You said my girl.
Yeah, that's how she views them.
Yeah, so she just didn't get to say goodbye.
And, right.
And she didn't have that moment. That's what she used to say.
That's my girls.
And that's what Grandma said. She said that I can go, but I don't want to leave my girls.